the silent abyss. I have always been fascinated by the ocean. As an oceanographer, I have dedicated years of my life to exploring its mysteries. However, my obsession began when the Global Institute for Undersea Exploration offered me a mission to the Challenger Deep, the deepest point in the ocean. There, they said, we would find answers to questions that humanity has avoided for centuries. As we descended in the submersible, all was silent. The sonar marked unimaginable depths, and the darkness seemed to have a weight of its own. My colleagues spoke of extreme life forms, bacteria, and crustaceans, but I sensed something else. Something I couldn't explain. As we reached 10,900 meters, the submersible's lights illuminated something impossible. An artificial, dome-like structure emerged from the seabed. It didn't belong to any known civilization. Before I could speak, a sound rumbled through the water. It was a low frequency, like a whisper in an unknown language, but I understood it. They shouldn't be here. After returning to the surface, I tried to convince my superiors of what we had seen. But the data from the cameras and sonar had disappeared. The other crew members acted as if nothing had happened. It was as if someone or something had erased their memory. I began to investigate on my own. Old texts and mythologies spoke of ocean guardians, entities that watched over the secrets of the depths. I found references to ancient cultures that claimed to have heard voices coming from the sea, warning humans not to explore beyond certain limits. That same night, I received an anonymous envelope with a photograph. It was a blurry image of the structure we had seen, with a handwritten message, "They don't forget. Turn back." Against all logic, I managed to assemble a small team willing to return. We were not the first to defy the warnings. I discovered classified reports of missing submarines, vehicles that never returned from the depths. They all had one thing in common. They were searching for a lost city in the abyss. Our second dive was far more sinister. As we approached the dome, we saw shapes swimming around it. They weren't fish or anything biologically recognizable. They looked like living shadows, moving with purpose. When we reached the dome, we found an entrance. Inside, there were endless corridors covered with inscriptions in an impossible language, and at the center, a pedestal with a sphere radiating a pulsating energy. Before we could study it, the shadows began to enter. A voice reverberated in our heads. They have violated the pact. The price is ignorance. Only I managed to get back to the surface. I can't explain how I escaped, but I'm sure they let me go to send a message. When I woke up in a hospital, doctors told me I had been found floating near a fishing boat with unexplained injuries. Since then, the darkness of the ocean seems to follow me. I've started dreaming of those corridors, of the shadows and the dome. Even more frightening, sometimes, in the stillness of the night, I hear the same voice, warning me not to share what I saw. I tried. I wrote reports, I gave interviews, but every attempt was blocked. My research disappeared, my colleagues walked away, and one night, someone left a recorded message on my answering machine. Silence protects you. Don't break it. Today, I understand why humanity can't explore the ocean thoroughly. It's not because of a lack of technology or ignorance. It's because something older than us prevents it. We don't own this planet. The real civilization, the real inhabitants, are down there in the depths, watching to make sure we never discover their existence. I'm running out of time. I know they're coming for me because I've shared too much. If you're reading this, be careful. Don't look for answers in the ocean. There are no discoveries down there, only warnings. The depths are a mystery not because we can't reach them, but because something compels us not to. Something that understands that if we do, the price won't just be ignorance. It will be our existence.